Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And on today's show, we're going to do something a little different. Julio, I told you I wasn't sure whether I was going to do this, but indulge me. Indulge me.
We've had 2 calls from listeners dealing with summer lawn care.
And the earth brought forth grass and herb, yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was itself his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said to Adam and Eve, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
The story extends a while time after that.
Right.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all of thy days. Thorns also thistles shall it bring forth thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. And the sweat of thy face shall thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
Ooh, wow.
An ominous warning.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
Right. So we're talking about weeds.
That's right.
That verse is talking about weeds. We have weeds.
Plenty of those, huh?
We have plenty of weeds. You have to deal with weeds, and it's by the sweat of your brow
that we need to take
that you need to take care of it.
Yep.
So gardening is fun, yes, because of the pride we get from the results of it.
The beauty of it. Mm-hmm.
But it needs work.
Needs work, yes.
And what we're going to be talking about today is some of that work.
We will. We've had callers call into our hotline, and they're being inundated with weeds and weeds and weeds.
That's right. We also, I think it's time for us to have an intervention.
Yes. Right.
Internet home remedies.
Oh, yes.
Stop the madness.
Yes. Be careful what you're looking at.
That's right. We're going to take a look at some of those remedies, and we're going to talk about whether good, bad, or what are you doing.
Oh,
we'll be right back right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Does your garden have planting insurance? It can now with Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma. It's the ultimate starter plant food. The secret is a special blend of natural organic plant food, beneficial microbes, and mycorrhizal fungi. The result? Plants grow faster, roots grow deeper, flowers and vegetables flourish. Best of all, every Espoma product is safe for people, pets, and the planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you. Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
We are back, folks, and Len, we've had listeners talking about our lawns that are having all kind of weed problems, and they just keep coming.
All summer, we've been warning about the amount of water we've been getting.
That's right.
Now, when we have droughts, that you don't get as many weeds as you do, you know, on a time like this where we've had regular rains and it's been wet.
Yes.
That weed seed can store in the ground and stay as a seed and not germinate for
how long?
Almost indefinitely.
No kidding. Wow.
And so what happens when we get all of this rain, it gets down to that layer where those seeds are sitting, and they germinate, and all of a sudden, holy smokes, what's going on? It's like the raindrops have little seeds in them, but they don't. That's in the ground.
Right.
And that what's happening, I've seen more and more crabgrass this time of the year. Now, how many applications of crabgrass preventer do we recommend? One?
I don't think so. Two at least.
That's right.
At least two.
Always. You know, a step program we always say is a good start.
Yes.
It has step one, which is the crabgrass preventer. But really, it's like you said, it's a good, we were talking about, it's a good start.
Good start.
But what happens, it only works for about 8 weeks. And then all of a sudden, okay,
right,
crabgrass,
right,
get going again.
That's right.
And that you've got to do, like 2 weeks ago, I think we had a show we were talking about making sure, and I think it's even in our Garden Minute, where we talk about taking care of the weeds now so that you don't have the issue next year.
Yes, next year.
Comes up.
Every year.
And it goes and it drops its seed. Now, that seed may germinate the same year. It may germinate the next year. It may germinate 5 years later. But as soon as the weed gets mature enough, being fruitful and multiplying, that it drops that seed in, and then it will come up at some point. So you've got to control that weed, any weed, before it goes to seed.
Right.
Because then you'll be able to cut off that generations. And what did we talk? We talked about having a family reunion in your yard.
That's right.
Whether it's insects or weeds, that's what's happening.
Either one, yes.
Kalinga.
Oh, Kalinga.
It's fun to say.
Ooh. This is one you have in your home.
I have Kalinga.
You have it.
Yep. Yep. I went to the doctor.
Yes.
Gave me a prescription. Now, Kalinga is a type of sedge.
Sedge grass.
And sedge is, like, for instance, nutgrass. Everybody's probably familiar with nutgrass or knows a little about it. It's interesting. Kalinga is a form of that. I've had customers come into Bloomers asking, do you have the seed for this? It's a fine-bladed, lighter green grass-looking plant that takes over your yard. But then it all of a sudden will send up a tiny... that little
thing in the center. What is it? It's like a little bud.
It's just like a nutgrass. It's nutgrass in miniature. And again, it's a sedge, and it can be controlled. But that's one to look out for. And what's interesting, and even crabgrass or Kalinga, you won't have it in the shade.
No.
And it's usually brought on by wet
areas.
Wet areas, areas that maybe you're putting your sprinkler on too much. Long. Keep an eye after that.
Watering is critical.
Making sure watering more at one time and less often. Letting it go a little bit dry.
Now, one of the things I say to my customers coming in, Len, is getting that soil pH correct, which kind of makes that grass stronger.
And that's
roots.
And your grass will outgrow most weeds as long as it's got that pH correct and it's getting something in there that'll take care of it. But Kalinga, nutgrass, it's all of those can be controlled by sedge ender from Bonide. I mean, it may need a couple of applications. The Kalinga looks like you just seeded your lawn, and like I said, some people like it. Now,
how long has that been there in your lawn? Since this past
my confession again?
Yes, sure.
5-6 years.
Oh my! It's time to get it.
It is. It's a priority.
It is.
It is at the moment not a priority.
Right.
But what happens is it dies off. It's an annual that keeps coming back. So you need to control it while it's actively growing, which means late spring, summer, with several applications because, again, it's coming back up and it's returning. It's not an evergreen like a dandelion would be or some other weeds that are evergreens in your lawn.
And you would use Bonide, sedge ender. Sedge ender.
Yes, that's what I'm going to use. It's recommended by Rutgers. If you want to go online and find some good information, Rutgers Cooperative Extension Service. Again, Rutgers is, of course, the
very good.
Rutgers University of New Jersey's one of
top
agriculture universities for the, I would say, the country, but also certainly for all of New Jersey.
That's great.
Again, it has a whole section of that you can pull up about Kalinga. It's spelled Kyllinga. It turns brown, like a reddish brown when it first frosts, and it's not very pretty afterwards.
And it's taking over pretty much on this East Coast, huh?
Well, it's certainly becoming more and more of a problem.
Right.
But I've seen so much crabgrass where lawns are completely taken over. I had a customer come in and talk about their crabgrass problem, and that there was nothing else.
That's it.
It was all crab. They said they have this weed, and this you don't have a weed. That's your lawn.
Wow.
You don't have anything else but crabgrass. So my guess is that either they did not put down a crabgrass control, or they had such a bad crabgrass problem in the past that all of the water that we've gotten as far as the rains come in, and that it's caused those seeds to germinate, and now they're having to deal with it. And it's harder to control crabgrass after it's growing than to control it before, with a pre-emergent being.
So you do that in the spring
before it germinates. Jonathan Green has a good one where it will control it using dimension and it up to its I think second or third leaf stage.
Wow.
But there's also a control product by Bonide, which is a crabgrass. Let me see what's the actual name of it. Make sure I get it right. It's Weed Beater Plus, crabgrass, and broadleaf weed killer. Now, that's a great thing because you not only will control crabgrass and any of the grassy weeds, but it will also control things like dandelions. And that your baby over here, you've got a granular application that would work as well. What's that called?
It's called
Weed Beater Complete.
Oh, look at that.
It controls.
It does everything.
It all.
It does it all.
One thing about a weed control in a granular format, the lawn needs to be slightly wet so that the particles sit on the grass or weed itself and release onto the plant. It can't. Don't put it on dry because what'll happen is that it'll just bounce and go to the roots and nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen. Okay.
No, it needs to sit on the plant.
Do you need to cut the grass before that? You think?
I would cut it and then wait a couple of days before so it starts to grow again.
A little bit.
Then I would do it.
Apply it.
Yeah, you do not want to do it when the grass is real high. You want to do it. So you want to do it when it's actively growing, and it needs to get on the surface of the leaf of the weed in order to control it.
So do it in the morning when it's kind of wet.
A little dewy on the grass. Yeah, that sounds good.
That's great.
That sounds good.
Now you like the Bonide because it's been tested, but you've researched this, Len. I know you have,
and that there are other companies out there. But we're coming up on a break.
Right.
We're going to talk about that right after we get back.
All right. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Are you looking for the one product that will control your insect problems on your shrubbery, around the outside of your house, on your lawn, in your flower beds, or vegetable garden? Bonide has the answer. Bonide's 8 Insect Control controls most common home, lawn, and garden insect problems. 8 is effective against more than 100 insects that destroy trees, shrubs, lawns, flowers, vegetables, and fruit. Use 8 to eliminate ticks, fleas, and ants, and other home-invading pests. 8 kills insects on contact and repels them for up to 30 days. Bonide products are family-made in America. Find Bonide 8 insect control products at these fine retailers.
Lehigh Valley Home and Garden, Allentown, PA. The Rhodes Garden, North Wales, PA. Mastardi's Nursery, Newtown Square, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. All right, so we had a caller call in. Having issues, just like we talked about, with all the rain. He's having a weed problem. Take a listen.
Good morning. Thanks for the show. I have a question. I am getting a lot of small leaves, weeds in my lawn, fertilizer for the lawn from Home Depot. The grass is greener, but I'm seeing now more and more of these small leaves, and I think these are small little strawberries. I don't know what to do about it. It looks like they are taking over my lawn. Thank you.
Oh my gosh!
I tell you what, I won't say anything that they put it in the Home Depot fertilizer. No, they don't.
It's all right.
but information. It's the power of information.
Right.
That is probably wild strawberry.
It is.
It will take over, and that it can be controlled easily.
Right.
Most of the weed and feed products will do it. But probably the best thing he should be using is Weed Beater Ultra. Weed Beater Ultra will control it. Again, it will. He may also even have henbit. They kind of look a little similar where the leaf structure does. Right. If he's he's cutting the tops off, because henbit is that plant that looks almost like a Swedish ivy leaf in miniature, then it gets like this purple. It's purplish at the top. That can be a pain, too. Could be that. But really, it's probably the wild strawberry. Ground ivy, maybe. Probably not. But wild strawberry is an issue, and it is in this area. And if it is sprayed,
right.
Now listen, spraying weed control, okay, like Weed Beater Ultra. Weed Beater Ultra we like so much because it, one, can be sprayed at cold temperatures and still work. But it also, you can spray it in warmer temperatures, but you really need to spray when you're below 85 degrees.
Right.
If you spray below 85 degrees, you're safe. If you go above that, you may be scorching your other grass and the grass that you want. Right. So it's just best. Anything you spray, whether it's an insecticide or herbicide, just a rule of thumb, 85 degrees or less. The cool of the morning,
yes,
so that it dries by noon, you're fine. You're fine. Again, 85 degrees or less.
Right.
Wild strawberries. They look exactly like strawberries, but the leaves are a little smaller, and if let to grow, they actually do get a little strawberry. I have never eaten one.
How do they get there?
Birds go and they'll eat the strawberry.
Right.
And they'll drive. They'll drive. Birds don't drive. They fly.
Yeah, they do.
They fly over your lawn.
That's right.
Okay. And both the bird and the wild strawberry is being fruitful and multiplying. And it drops
seed.
What did we talk about a couple of weeks ago? Everybody poops, right?
Yeah, everybody does.
And so all of those seeds that were encapsulated in that bird's stomach has now been deposited in your lawn in a nice little cocoon that dries out, and it's a little seed starter for wild strawberry.
There you go.
And most weeds are spread that way.
Right. There you go.
If your lawn is full and thick, generally it gets choked. The weeds get choked out. If your lawn has bare spots or is under stress, the weeds grow.
There you go.
Yep. So pretty simple.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Weed control, it's important to know what you have. What is it? Is it a grassy weed? Is it a type of broadleaf weed? And you need to get that information from where?
The garden center.
Why a garden center versus like Home Depot or Lowe's?
Well, Len, as I said, you have been researching all these products.
Not me. I'm talking about, some of the guys, not everybody lives near us. I mean, we're close to Philadelphia,
Right.
But say somebody lives near Gaspers, or somebody lives, even in Berlin near Dambley's, or somewhere else, and that's their local store, that they go there. Those people are trained.
Yeah, they are.
They survive, and the surviving garden centers, and a lot of them are not around anymore, are there because they have the information.
Right.
And they make their customers successful because they identify a problem and they give them solutions. Right. Now, if you're in that chemical aisle all by yourself, or with somebody who is usually in plumbing or another area, or is seasonal help just hired, look, your garden centers on some items may be a little more expensive, but for 10% more that you may be paying, you know, and I'm shaking my head because it's usually not even that. Garden centers know what the costs are out there. You're not going to spend any more at a garden center than you would at a box store for most items. And on those few items that you're getting the information that has a value.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yes.
You know, I went to my dentist yesterday, right?
Oh, yes.
You know, Julio, you could have pulled out my tooth if I needed it.
Yeah, I
right?
could have.
You know, you could have.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to you because you don't have the information. And
No, I
guess
don't.
what? It didn't have anything to do with my tooth. It was my sinuses.
Oh, boy. Look
So
at that.
just like that,
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden, $24.
Right. Oh, that's great.
Thanks, Manny, if you're out there listening.
There you go, Manny.
Wow. Because he had the expertise.
Right. He did. Right.
It's a confusing time. Gardening can be confusing.
It is.
And that with your lawn care especially, there are so many options.
That's
and
it right there. You hit it on a nail.
What?
So many options. When you go to a box store, it's like 10 items of the same thing, and you don't know which one to pick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of them, there's, you know, we know how big stores work. A lot of it purchase aisle space. And and it's not any fault. I mean, the stores are good. The products are good.
Right.
But it's giving you the information, and you need to find the information. And that's everything about our caller had wild strawberries, and it was an easy control, but he needed to get really sent to the right place.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you have anything more to say on that topic?
Well, I think that we, as a garden center, we know our products, and I think that really helps us knowing that and what the people need with the problems they have.
Right.
You know, if they come in with a problem, we have the right product for them.
Right. And I don't want to make this an infomercial. It's starting to sound like that. Where it's important, the power of knowledge and information used correctly will make you successful.
There you go.
Okay?
Right.
When you try something because you think it's the right thing and you fail, that's where the brown thumb comes in. No such thing as a brown thumb.
No.
There's no such thing in a brown thumb. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be right back right after this. We're going to talk about more. This is all about weeds, folks. We'll be right back after this.
Stay tuned for the Bloomers Garden Minute. The Garden Minute is brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Philadelphia Garden Radio. Find us on the radio dial or on the web at bloomers.com.
This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute. The summertime, the flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, the garden is yielding its bounty. Yeah, but the weeds are growing and the bugs are feeding and breeding. Next year's crop of insects are laying eggs and the weeds are dropping seeds all over your lawn, landscape, and garden. Those insects plan to host a family reunion right in your yard next summer. The weeds are planning a reunion of their own if you don't control them now. Insects want multiple generation, weeds too. Taking care of today's insects and weeds means no descendants next year. Don't pass up this opportunity to control next year's pests now. Get out to Bloomers or your local area independent garden center today for help getting those pests under control. Cancel that reunion and make your home and yard care even easier next year. This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute, and we'll see you in the garden.
Today's Garden Minute was brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Also brought to you by BPG, the Fertilome people.
Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1010 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
We are back, and now to get the weeds that we've been talking about under control, and we need to know some steps, right?
It is. And at garden centers, they are detectives. I mean, how many times do you hear? It's like, it's that yellow one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I want that yellow plant that has the leaves that go like this.
Right.
I'm putting my hands in the air. A lot of times it means it's like, what? My grandmother used to have it. I was like, I know, old plants. You want, golden euonymus.
That's right.
Anyway, it's the same thing with weeds, but we need something to go on.
Right.
So all right. So first step with weed control, what is it?
You have to identify what the weed is, and that is it a grassy weed, which is like a grass? Well, it's like a grass.
Right, thin stem.
And then a broadleaf weed, like a dandelion.
Right. And then also, was it there, did it overwinter? Or was it new? Did all of a sudden it come from like nowhere?
Right.
Like a lot of those, that's important. Because deciding, which weed you have will give you the answer to what control product you need. And not even so much by knowing the actual name of the weed.
Right.
If I have a broadleaf weed that overwintered in my lawn, I know that a broadleaf weed control, like either a weed and feed, should take care of it. Right. But if all of a sudden I still have it after that, usually it's something new that it's come up from a different seed, and I either put it down maybe too early or something like that, because there's not that long of a residual.
Right.
So you go and you say, all right, well then I've got to use a liquid spray.
Okay.
All right. So what are the different types of weed controls?
Pre-emergent weed control products are applied to stop the weeds from germinating. So that's why they call it pre-emergent.
Pre-emergent, before it appears.
Before it comes out, yes.
Before it emerges.
Right.
And that's something that goes and creates a barrier in the soil, right? And then when it goes in, it can't come up because it can't break that barrier.
Yes.
Now, that's crabgrass.
Right.
That's crabgrass. You're pre-emergent for crabgrass.
Right.
Now, you're controlling a whole bunch of other weeds. Like, we always call it a crabgrass control, but it's really more. It does more. It's basically a grassy weed control.
Nice.
But because there's only a window of, say, 6 weeks that it works,
that's it.
That there are other dormant crabgrass seeds that are waiting to germinate that sneak through after that 6. It's almost like they're. It's like, I always have this vision that it's like, at a starting gate, and it's like, all right, the first ones go, and then they get all knocked off by the pre-emergent, and then the second group, it's like then the second group comes and they all get to go and germinate. So you need to deal with those now.
That's right.
After those seeds have germinated, what is it called next?
Now we're talking about post-emergent weed control product.
It's simple.
Yeah.
After it's emerged. So most of the weed control you're doing now, anytime really from, I'd say, May through the rest of the year, you're doing post-emergent weed control.
There you go.
And there's some things where you may be putting, say, a product like Preen, which is a pre-emergent control for weeds. Right. There's some things where you're dealing with bare soil, but after a weed has emerged, a pre-emergent no longer works.
Right.
It only works on bare ground or before it's germinated. Where post-emergent is the thing that you have to use during this time of the year.
That's right.
And it's important to know, again, the next step is essential. What's the next step?
Selective weed control.
Selective.
Okay. Right.
What is that?
Kills only certain types of weeds that are listed on the
When it doesn't hurt desirable plants.
No.
Right? So that's a pretty simple thing. So it's selective. It chooses between the different plants. Mm-hmm. So you'll put down any of the ones that are really listed for your lawn. Yes. It won't kill your grass, but it will kill the weed that you're targeting.
Right, like crabgrass.
Like crabgrass, right. Like nutsedge. Now, there may be different products that you'll have to use, but that's the way it works. It targets that individual weed without harming the beneficial.
Right.
Okay. What's next?
Non-selective weed control kills all the types of plants.
Wow, that it kills it all.
Yep.
Nukes it.
What?
Blows
it up.
You don't have it. It gets everything. And that there are actually, it's funny, is that there are several organic choices.
How about that?
When it comes to non-selective, like you're wiping it all out, you're killing everything. So it's like, you're just wiping it out.
Get rid of it.
Wipe it out. So that non-selective just kills everything. Yeah. And you'd put that Roundup into that category.
That's right.
Roundup is getting a pretty bad rap right now. Right. I mean, it has been used for years, and yes, if it's been proved a carcinogen, to be honest with you, I don't really want to get into that. Yeah. I just want you to know that I have used it safely. I do use it safely, and I believe that it's glyphosate, and it's a very beneficial product to the home gardener. Now, farmers out there that are spraying and killing their crops so they can have an earlier harvest, well, I'm not too kindly on that. But that's another topic for another day.
That's because you're a good steward.
That's right. That's right. I'm
business.
Subduing the earth.
That's right. That's right.
But subduing the earth with a heart to knowing that it's precious.
That's right. Yeah. And you were going to give it to the next generation.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's correct. The next type is a systemic herbicide, absorbed through the plants, through the roots or the leaves, and spread throughout the plant.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Now, does that one take a little more time to?
A little bit longer.
Okay.
But for instance, a systemic herbicide would be like a poison ivy control.
Okay.
Where you're not just killing the top, it's going all the way through and killing down to the root.
To root systems.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what a type of systemic would be. And that's it's important to have those. I mean, it's not used that often.
No.
Most are both selective and post-emergent. But it's important that all of you listening out there know that these are only 4 categories. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's the way it's controlled, and the information that you bring and the clues that you bring to your local shop, they'll help you break down to know what you can use and what you can use safely.
And like you're saying, we're always asking questions.
Always.
Yes. And it's like a doctor. Do you have this pain? Do you have that pain?
Does it hurt when you do this? Well, don't do that.
That's right.
It is. And it's important not to come off feeling that you're being intimidated, because you're not.
No, we're not.
You're not. We know. We know. Everybody has a life beyond taking care of their yards. And those that are casual gardeners, or even those that are just getting into it and are really just would like to have a green lawn, we get it.
Right.
We get it.
Oh, yes.
It's unthreatening. We want you to understand that we just want you to have the right thing, not that we don't pass judgment. Hey, you dummy. Yeah, you don't know that? If you have somebody say that ever to you, you walk out and never go back.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what, I don't know any respecting garden center owner that would ever allow him or his staff to do that. And if they would, they don't deserve their business.
Right. Yeah, we're always learning too. So
that's it. That's it, because things change.
That's right.
The things change. All right, we've got a break coming up, and after that break, I'm going to tell you why I hate the internet. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB, and again at 9 on 6:10 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomer's Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com.
Are fleas and ticks making your favorite pet's life downright miserable? Bonide Flea Beater products will make your pet's life flea and tick free. Controlling fleas and ticks is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Bonide's complete 3-step program starts with controlling fleas and ticks outdoors with granular or hose-end flea beater products. The second step is to control fleas and ticks indoors with Bonide's Flea Beater, aerosols, and ready-to-use products. And the third step is to control the fleas and ticks on your pet with Bonide's Flea Beater or Pet Ready-to-Use. All products are deadly on fleas and ticks. So if fleas and ticks are causing your favorite pet to scratch and itch, get Bonide Flea Beater products today and put an end to their flea and tick problems. Bonide products are family made in America. Bonide Flea Beater products can be found at these fine retailers:
Bucks Country Gardens, Doylestown, PA. Shady Brook Farms, Yardley, PA. Delray Plus True Value, New Hope, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, Leo, when we went into break, I was saying how I hate the internet.
Yes, I do.
And that we've had a listener give us a call.
Right.
I think you'll start to understand why.
That's right.
About our lawn, it is all brown. It's about 100 by 50, and it's some green in there, but it's all brown. My husband did mix that recipe with you put vinegar and a couple other things in, and it's a pretty popular recipe. And he sprayed all the 40 clover, and it went brown where he sprayed, but it seemed like the whole back is brown. And our front lawn, he did the same, but that's green. And we fertilize our front, we fertilize the back, but the back never seems to do anything. And I was wondering, should we have our soil tested? I would like you to help us. Thank you. Bye now.
Well, okay.
Wow.
I hate the internet.
I know you do.
And I hate
So do I.
it's a great tool.
Yeah, it is.
But what does that saying go with? Great power becomes responsibility.
Yes, it is.
The home remedies. John Johnston, are you listening out there? John Johnston in Garden Land, and he told me about the one home remedy that was told by a popular radio show host.
Right.
Not this one.
Okay.
About spraying citronella oil on your house to get rid of insects. Now, this is the kind of stuff that you find on the internet. And you better not be smoking.
My goodness.
I've got another one. Put on a pair of rubber gloves and mix 2 cups of bleach, 3/4 of a cup of water in a gallon bucket, swirl it up, put it in a sprayer bottle, and start spraying.
Oh, brother.
Now, I think what June was working with, she was working with vinegar and substituted the vinegar for. We talked about 85 degrees, right?
Yes, we
85
did.
degrees or lower. There's a good chance that when her husband sprayed the backyard, it was cooler,
right,
and that it was able to tolerate it. But where the front yard it wasn't, or his mixture may have been off.
Right. Could have been too much. And who knows what else he added onto the beer.
Yeah. Now you called June, right?
Yes.
What did you guys talk about?
She wanted to know about the pH level, and I said to her how important that is, and we just started from ground one.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just said she needs to replenish what she had, so she has to start watering again.
Well, she needs to start all over because hopefully, a lot of times this whole bleach vinegar thing only kills the top. It doesn't kill down to the roots. So she might be fortunate enough to where it's not all dead. But the rule of thumb to know, do I start all over or do I renovate what I have? It's 50%. If you have 50% more weeds and bare spots than you do grass, then you go and you just kill it all, start from scratch, because it is cheaper and it's going to be less aggravation to start from scratch than if you're trying to completely renovate it, because it'll take at least a full year to probably 18 months to really renovate your lawn, because you need to go through both, 2 seasons, 2 spring seasons.
Wow.
Because you can only put down a pre-emergent in the
spring.
Right. Now, technically, you can put it down in the summer, but that's just to prevent things like that's why we talk about 2 applications of crabgrass control. Right. All right. So let's talk about some home remedies. And again, June needs to see if anything grows back. If nothing's growing back, she needs to start from scratch.
Right.
Okay. She said she was trying to control clover.
Right.
I mean, bleach is cheap.
Yeah,
I went to Sam's Club and bought it for 2-gallon jugs for
$1.50.
Yeah. But the problem is that your lawn's expensive.
Oh, yes.
Don't do it.
Don't skip.
Don't do it. Avoid putting it down. There are some crazy things, like she could have used, if she wanted to control everything, she could have used burnout. That's all organic. Or she could have used the crabgrass control. She could have used a clover control to control that. There are things that have gone through scientists and have decided on this is what will work. Right. Doing these home remedies, I saw one where it take sugar and put sugar down, and to kill your plants. But then all of a sudden you have a marching horde of insects that are coming in to eat the sugar.
Oh boy!
I mean, some of them are just insane. Ammonia and Epsom salts. I mean, Epsom salts are okay, but ammonia. Well, you and I were talking about your dad. He was.
Yes.
He was a special man.
Yes, he used it for getting at the.
He was a custodian of Rowan College.
Rowan College, yes.
Right. So, and he used to strip the floors
with ammonia.
And you said as a kid you used to help once in a while, but you couldn't take that.
Couldn't take it now. It was too much. Powerful.
I tell you what, we've got a new segment coming up, and we're going to talk about some of these things, and let's talk about what's been tested to be safe and what are some of these home remedies.
That's right.
How safe are they? We'll be right back after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Tired of pale green, weedy results from four-step lawn programs? That's because they don't do anything for the soil. The New American Lawn four-step program feeds the lawn and the soil. Magical Plus, a unique soil food that adjusts soil pH, loosens hard soil, and feeds soil microbes, is the key difference. Without the right soil conditions, you'll never enjoy a great lawn. Competitive programs simply don't match up. So feed your lawn and your soil with the New American Lawn four-step program by Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green products can be found at these fine stores: Action Hardware, Wilmington, Delaware; Hockessin Hardware, Hockessin, Delaware; Gasper's Garden Center, Richboro, Pennsylvania;
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Well, and we are back, and the Independent Garden Center is the place for everyone to come and ask the questions that they need because they have problems with their weeds or lawn and whatever
right
is there. We're there for them.
Right. And listen, if you're having a problem, snap a picture, text it to us on the hotline, okay, 609-685-1880. We'll take a look, and if you're a good photographer, we'll figure out what's going on. You can also make sure that if you're doing something that's an insect or something that seems to be dying, don't show us the dead portion. Show us a portion where it's on the turn.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the magic. Julio, there are so many online. I did a quick search of online remedies. I like this one, soda and beer. You mix a can of Diet Coke and a can of cheap beer.
Right.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
And a half cup of ammonia.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
A half cup of liquid dishwashing soap, and half a cup of mouthwash.
Oh, there you go.
No gingivitis in that lawn.
No, sir. No, sir.
Put it into a hose end sprayer and spray over the lawn. Now, listen. I can understand it. Like ammonia, right?
Sure.
Ammonia is a nitrogen source, but for a person who knows, ammonium nitrogen is bad. Yeah. It's the kind of nitrogen that burns. Yeah.
It'll kill it.
Sorry. Let's see. New Jersey State Department of Health. When ammonia enters the body as a result of breathing it in, swallowing, or skin contact, it reacts with water to produce ammonium hydroxide. This chemical is very corrosive and damages the cells in the body on contact.
Ooh. Boy, look out.
Stop the madness.
Yes.
Okay? It's not going to give you an edge if you're using the right product. You know, the one product that we were talking about with using the beer,
right?
There's one mix that it basically is doing the Thatch product that we have here on the table. Julio, what's the name of that?
It's called Microbe Thatch Remover.
And that's from Microblift.
Yeah, Microbe.
And what it is it's a bacteria that basically will decompose the thatch layer that's rotting in your lawn. And it
great product.
And again, these guys are great because we talk about it on ponds all the time. It's like, you know, your septic tank where it works. That bacteria works in getting through and eating all of that. It helps your thatch layer to rot faster, and therefore it creates a fertilizer for it.
Is that wonderful?
And that's the whole beer thing, using the beer thing. Stop using the weird stuff and just get the stuff that you need to.
Right.
So if I needed to get mouthwash, ammonia, and beer, here's a suggestion I say. Get the beer, drink the beer while you're putting down the thatch stuff.
That's right.
It goes on the end of your hose, and you just spray it.
Boom,
I think
you're done.
Your lawn will look much better after you finish the beer.
Right. All natural, right? It's a soil science. It's great.
It is.
How easy is that?
All of these home remedies are basically trying to mock things that are available. All those things with bleach. That's the other thing. This stuff is not. These are not meant to be spraying on your lawn.
That's poison. Okay? Poison. I like.
Right. What does the Poison Control Center say about bleach?
Bleach. Oh my goodness. Let's see.
The product
you selected is a bleach stain remover or disinfectant. Could you imagine that? These products can cause burning of the skin as well as the mouth, throat, and stomach. Onset of effects can be delayed, so you got to be careful with that. Several injury can occur, and the product gets into the lungs.
Not several. Severe.
Severe? Oh,
Severe injury can occur if the product gets into the lungs.
Wow.
Stop the madness.
Bleach,
Stop
ammonia,
the madness.
all that. Oof.
We had on the head of research and development for North America for one of the large chemical companies. This company just bought Bayer's division, and you may know it. It used to be called Bayer Advanced. Now it's called Advanced. He told me, he said, we love our world. Mm-hmm. We love the environment.
Right.
We are here they are stewards of the environment. They have to get EPA testing done. They have to get it approved. They have to get it approved at different levels, whether it's a restricted pesticide or herbicide or whether it's available to homeowners. These are not products that are unsafe, and they're proven. They are proven, and there are instructions on how to use them. You don't have to play the mad scientist and put a little bit of this here and a little bit of this here and, put in an ounce of Gatorade and then please. Mm-hmm. It may seem fun, but run it by your local garden center. Right. That's where information is power. The information that the garden centers will give you will help you cure your problem. Mm-hmm. And that my concern is that a lot of this stuff is being done unsafely, and that where you think that it's organic or you think that it's better somehow, where in reality it's not. No. Every single one of these things that I've looked at, there's the actual product on our shelves or on anybody's shelves that they're trying to reproduce, and they're not saving money. And it's safe and it's ready to use. Mm-hmm. Going to your local garden center. If you don't have one close by, come to Bloomers. Call the hotline.
Right.
Call the hotline. 609-685-1880. Ask us your questions. We'll be able to tell you, knucklehead, don't do that. Just use this. Right. Or, hey, that sounds fine. Right. Epsom salts on roses, that's a great thing. West Jersey Rose Society suggests it all the time. Right. Listen, everybody, stay off the internet.
Right.
Get in your garden.
Be safe.
Pull some weeds. Be safe.
Right.
You can find information, but just listen. Yes. Don't be putting things on your plants that, and if you're just so inclined that you can't take it, that you want to do it, just try it on a small patch first. Don't do your entire lawn. No. Right, John? Right, June? Yeah, I don't think, June, you'd have them do it again. That's right. But listen, we are there for to help.
Keep the vinegar in the home.
Yeah, right. Make a salad dressing. Use the bleach. Use the bleach to whiten the shirts and clean the floors.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So listen. Thank you for listening, Brett. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's right. Now we're done. Yeah, we still got another segment. Yeah, Brett's giving me the eye sign.
Oh, my goodness.
Brett, what am I doing? All right, we'll be right back to close the show right after this.
Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center for the best selection of summer flowering perennials anywhere. Coneflowers in colors as vast as the rainbow. Reblooming daylilies in all the best varieties. Giant hardy hibiscus with flowers that measure 12 inches across. Make sure to visit our water garden department. Fish plants and water treatments that will keep your pond beautiful and crystal clear. Thinking about a new filter, UV, or water feature? Bloomers has them all in stock. Need to replace that sterilizer bulb? Bloomers carries a wide selection to match your model UV. Fall decorations are starting to roll in. Wind chimes, flags, and more. Bloomers has been selected the best of the best garden center by South Jersey Magazine. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township today. Just 30 minutes from Philadelphia. Find more information at bloomers.com. That's bloomers.com.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there. They might even be listening to this right now. Maybe they're waiting for the traffic light to change. Maybe they're daydreaming about a trip they've planned with their family. Maybe they're in a toddler seat, strapped in, and wondering if they're almost home. That first survivor is out there, and they're going to hold on to everything the disease steals away. And the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen by funding research, advancing public policy, and spurring scientific breakthroughs, and by providing local support right now to those living with the disease and their caregivers, we're easing the burden for all those facing it until we accomplish our goal. Alzheimer's disease has devastated millions of lives, but that's all going to change when we reach the first survivor. But we won't get there without you. Visit alz.org to join the fight.
Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Wow, Julio, we almost didn't make it to the schoolyard.
No, we did.
I tell you, this topic really, it bugs me.
It does.
Because often the internet is so full of information that people aren't disseminating that information based on their region versus of where that information is coming from. Mm-hmm. It could be a completely different climate situation. Right. And that, thanks to Brett, I almost ended the show at about 5 minutes early. But I tell you, this does not make someone doesn't earn a green thumb by using bleach and ammonia. Listen, you need to know the information, and repetitive information is how we learn that the products are available to use already pre-done at the lowest cost that you can get them at.
That's right. Easy,
safe.
Yes. Come to the garden center.
This is the best time that we're living in, because never ever in my history of this industry has there been such a selection of organic and natural products. So we are in a unique situation. There is no need to be concocting your own dangerous mixes because you saw it online. Hey, be careful out there.
That's right.
We'll see you in the garden.
See you in the garden.
Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com.